everybody. What's going on today? It's Rebecca Yuson with eXp Realty, and I'm so excited to introduce to you today's guest, Thomas Wortman. Thomas is so cool. I have been watching him on TikTok for, I think it's been about a month now. Our algorithms matched up, and he's been testing out TikTok. He wanted to know if it would actually work for him and his business, and he's been doing really well. He's been posting on it every day religiously. I think at least he comes up on my TikTok every day. And I'm hoping he's going to be able to share a little more about that. But before that, Thomas, welcome. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Rebecca. I'm happy to be here. So
awesome.
Fun.
So, all right, we want to know a couple things about you, Thomas. So first of all, how long have you been a licensed realtor?
So I got my license at the end of 2018. So it hasn't been that long.
Okay.
And before that, I worked in the restaurant industry.
No kidding. What were you doing?
Yes, I was a chef.
A chef?
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So what happened that made you decide, you know what, forget this cooking thing? Well, being a chef is much more than cooking.
Sure.
But forget this. I'm getting into real estate. Like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to be in real estate from college. Coming out of college, I wanted to be a developer, and then just sort of I just never had anyone who was in real estate in my life to say it's very easy. All you have to do is study for 3 months and you can be a real estate agent. No one ever told me that. Okay. So I just kind of meandered around, and cooking is something, and food is something that I was really passionate about, and wine. And so I thought that would be a nice lifestyle business where I might not make a lot of money, but I would always be eating and drinking really well. And so that seemed like good enough. I'd take that deal. So I got into that. My parents ended up actually purchasing a small inn in Northern California. And I had some restaurant experience. Yeah, had some restaurant experience at the time, and then went to work with them as their head chef, and did that for 4 or 5 years, and eventually things were just kind of coming to the end of that time of my life, and I wanted to make more money, and I wanted to have more flexible hours, and I wanted to spend more time with my significant other and have a family, and so real estate just sort of became like, okay, I think this is a good option for me, and was able to take a test and pass and became a real estate agent.
Awesome. I love it. So tell me which markets you serve. Where are you?
I am in Del Norte County, which is the furthest northern county on the coast in California.
Wow.
It's populous, very small, population of 28,000 people in the whole county. And I live in a little town called Gasky, beautiful little river town. We have like 550 people here. The main town is called Crescent City, and there's about 8,500 people in Crescent City. So it's a small community, but it's absolutely gorgeous. We have Redwood National Park is here. So we get a lot of tourism coming through for the ocean and Redwood National, hikers to go look at the trees. And we absolutely love living here. It's been, probably one of the better decisions in my life to move down here for sure.
Oh, so you lived somewhere else before?
Yeah, I was in Portland. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So tell me, since you've been in real estate since 2018, I'm guessing you've done a few deals.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your first deal. What was it like? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? Do you remember?
Well, I'll have to remember. I think, first deal came from a friend of a friend.
Ooh, a referral.
And referral on that. So a friend of a friend. And it was a land deal
Ooh.
and all cash. And so I was working with, it was a big party. So it was like the son-in-law, the dad, he had the money, and then there were two wives involved. And obviously when you do your first deal, you try and get as much help as you can, but you don't really know. I remember, I sent off my first contract and the agent sent it back to me because I didn't have the date on it. And and just like working DocuSign and just being so nervous about getting every signature, and so nervous that the clients thought I was an idiot because I couldn't, I forgot one of their names on the DocuSign or something like that. And then a funny story then also is that at the very end, I don't even know if I want to tell a story, but
Okay.
anyway, we got the deal done, obviously, and it was great. So it was a great way to get it going. But I really came out really strong right away. So I already had a couple other deals going by the time that ended, and so yeah, so it's been a fun ride. But even still, 4 years into it, I think back at some of the decisions that I made, not decisions, but just some of the conversations that I had with clients 6 months ago, and how I would have handled those conversations so much differently, even now.
Yep.
So, it just seems for me still, I'm very much still learning all the time, learning how to have this relationship with your clients where you are very much their servant in a lot of ways. You're obedient to them and what they want to do.
Yep.
But at the same time, you have to be in control over the situation. You have to be in control over the escrow. You have to be in control over your documents and disclosures. And you have to be an advisor to make sure that your clients are understanding what they are actually trying to do, and understanding what your role is as an agent for them. So learning how to talk to those to my clients in that way, it's been really fun for me, and also just get better at communicating, clear communication with my clients. So I've enjoyed that quite a bit.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. So tell me about that first year. So probably starting in 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like? Was it what you thought it was going to be?
Yes and no. I mean, I remember, well, so it's the first time that I really had time in just an office. So just getting used to is the right word, but I remember I did a lot of personal paperwork, okay, because I was in an office, and so I was just like getting, things that I had not taken care of. So, taxes, doing my books, just busying myself. So I remember doing a lot of that. And then once I was able to get linked up with, so the Zillow, they had an opening, and I got a couple, it was like $350 I was spending a month or something. And then the phone started ringing. And so that's when things really started to pick up for me, as far as like people calling me and getting to practice just talking with clients, following up, learning how to, be a real estate agent. And then, more momentum sort of started to build with other referrals from my sphere of just friends and family that I had. And I was able to put together a pretty good first year that I was happy with. And the whole time, though, I remember thinking that there was always this pressure that this might not work. This might actually not be a viable plan for me and my family.
Yep.
And so there was a lot of pressure on me to just kind of prove that you could become a real estate agent in Delaware County and be successful. So after the first year, I felt like I had built a lot of momentum, and then my second year just kind of followed up after that. We did have the COVID that happened, which really put the brakes on things for 3 months or so, and so that was a little nerve-wracking. Like, oh, maybe we're done here for a while, and then the boom, right after COVID that we all experienced, which was just crazy. And so that's kind of and then now we have a new transition to a little bit of a lull. I don't know if it's happening where you are, but it's
Yeah.
certainly happening where we are. We kind of have this imbalance in the market where sellers are still expecting one thing and buyers can no longer afford that thing anymore. And so we are waiting for that to equalize out. And so now we have a new transition that I'm getting to deal with now. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that's around most of the country. So
yeah,
it should be interesting to see what's coming.
absolutely.
So, okay. So when you're new, I always say you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
Was there ever a time that you had to do something, maybe to make a deal work, that made you question your judgment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my second deal was a dual agency.
Oh,
And so and those are legal in California. I know some states they're not allowed.
nope,
Um,
Florida is not allowed.
yeah, okay, yeah. So it was a dual agency, and so that was really more of just like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm doing it at the same time for two different people.
Yes.
And I remember my file, like I couldn't. I was still learning what the documents were, and so I didn't know which side of the file that they were supposed to, go on. And so I just remember that whole time of just like the file was just like eating me up because they didn't, and especially coming from restaurant world, I just had never, I had never practiced, using email and getting files off of email, saving them in the correct space. I mean, the last time that I did that was like, in college for papers that I was writing or something.
Yes.
Or it's like save final draft one, like that sort of thing. And so that was a good learning experience for that. As far as like, ethical decision making, I think that the hardest thing to learn, not the hardest thing, but one of the things I did learn is that as a new agent, you're so desperate for money
Yep.
that you want to save every deal, and I think it can become tempting to maybe not reveal as much information as you should, or to try and filter what you're saying to not scare off your clients, to try and keep the deal going. And every single time that that has sort of, maybe I could have been clear with my clients as to what was going on, it immediately came up and it just got exposed to the light of this is what's happening. You can't hide this stuff, and you should not try to hide the stuff
No.
to save the deal at all. It's very silly and dumb. And so I think as a new agent, if I was giving advice to a new agent on that topic, I would say, without a doubt, you cannot worry about losing a deal. You just cannot worry about it. More deals will come. Do not worry about losing your deal. Do not think about that paycheck. Do not think about the money that's coming in. Be the best agent that you can be. Be as clear and as honest as you can be with your clients.
Yep.
And that is the best practice. And the sooner you get over that fear of losing your clients, your job becomes so much easier and so much less stressful.
Mhm.
I was in a car accident actually 2 summers ago,
Oh,
and I was laid up for like a month. Basically, had a
my gosh.
road injury. Yeah, it was. And I had 3 escrows going at the time, and all of them canceled their escrows for various reasons. Nothing to do with the car accident, but just various reasons. One
Yeah.
person didn't like the house. Well, anyway, too much work to do on one house. The inspection came back bad. Another house had sort of a border property boundary issue, and I can't remember the other one. And I didn't care because I couldn't do anything about it, and I was on pain medication and and it was like, what am I going to do? There's nothing I can do. So I didn't even it didn't bother me at all. And and I was able to kind of take that with me as I continued on for, since that time. Where, yeah, I'm bummed if a deal doesn't fall through, but
Always.
However, it fell through for a reason. And it's probably a good reason that it fell through. It's certainly not because I did anything. There was nothing that I could do to save the deal.
Yep.
And oftentimes when I have tried to save deals by, like lowering my commission a few points to try and make the cash finances work out. It's a nice thing to do every once in a while, but more often than not, my clients are like, don't do that. That's silly. Either we're going to buy the house or we're not going to buy the house. It's like a few, $500 isn't going to make the difference. So anyway, so like I said, it's a nice gesture if that's how you want to run your business and if you feel like that's what this person really needs. But I don't think it's a good practice. And like I said, just being not afraid to lose the deal. If the deal goes away, it was for a reason. And that's what I try and tell my clients too, that especially when everything was getting so crazy with the, with offers and stuff, that, this is the biggest purchase of your life, and it is a lot of money, and that we need to go forward with the best hope in mind that this is going to work out for us if you like the house. But we need to be open-minded that it might not be the right fit, and we need to start looking in another direction. We can't get caught up in the frenzy of wanting to get the house. We really need to just have a peace about us when we are making these decisions, and making sure that we're doing what's right and what makes sense.
Yep. And that's how you build a lifelong business. When you really are looking at your clients and their best interest, and they see that and they feel that, and that's how you get referrals and, like I said, lifelong clients. So good job. I'm so glad you understand that. Some people don't. So good for you. So this business can be so up and down. And if you're laid up in a bed after an accident, there's nothing you can do. So has there ever been a time when you've said, that is it, I'm done, I'm ripping up my license, this is not for me? Did that ever happen to you?
Not yet. So I really enjoy the business, and every deal is different, and I love seeing clients happy, and I think I like the amount of reward that you get for being a good real estate agent. And so no, the other game changer though that that happened to me is that since I came on board with EXP, I got a TC, a transaction coordinator.
Awesome.
And so that is just a game changer. And I really recommend every agent have a transaction coordinator. There's really no reason why you should be running your own files. And my broker before EXP, he wanted to make sure that we knew how to do our files in case we had to. But even then, I don't know if I would recommend that to a new agent. I think having the TC really is the way to go, and just having clear communication with that TC, so you can build the habits of working with your TC from the very beginning, and have your TC be the one who is showing you how to run your file. So he or she can give you, set you up with the system that's going to be successful for her and for you, as opposed to learning a bunch of terrible habits on how to run your files, and then you get your TC, and now you get to put her through all of your terrible habits of running your files.
Yes.
So I think that is the best strategy. But yeah, I think for me, again, just becoming not from a corporate world or having any kind of office experience, the files of being a real estate agent was the most difficult part. And now that I have it, it's done. So, so
Good for you.
yeah.
So it can take a while to figure out what your niche is going to be. Some people it takes years, some people they figure it out right away. What has been your focus? Like, if I could just work with these clients, I would be living in heaven. Do you have that?
Yeah, so I have a couple of clients that are investor developers. And if I could have 10 investor developer clients, I think that would just be a great way to build a business, because they're doing multiple deals a year, but also now it's like I am, because they're doing multiple deals a year, because I'm getting to know them as clients and as people, I really feel like I'm a part of their team, and I like that feeling, where they are a business unto themselves, and I'm a little part of their business, that I can be helpful to them, and we can talk and brainstorm about different ideas or different projects, but also I can learn a tremendous amount from these people as well. So I can learn about how they're negotiating, one, because with investment, or with these particular investment clients, they're very much in control of their negotiation process. I'm not leading them down a road like I would with my residential single family buyers, where I'm, here are your options of how we would negotiate this price. With them, they already have a strategy that they are employing. So I'm getting to learn from them in that way. I'm also getting to learn from them on what they think a good deal is or what's a bad deal, and just sort of how they see the world from an investor's point of view, and a successful investor. So if I could have 10 more of those, that would be really, really happy. I like being a part of the team. I like having that collaborative process. I also, like I said, I like to be able to be focused in on their needs and look at the market through their eyes. Like, oh, here's some raw land that came available. I know exactly who that's for. I'm going to call them up and see if we can get that done. So yeah, that would be, I'd like that.
I love it. You seem like you're a very detail-oriented person, so I see why that would be fun for you.
Yeah.
Whereas I am not. I'm a feely person, and I've worked with investors, and I hate it because they only want to know what the numbers are.
Yep.
They don't care about their emotion. But I love it when my clients are super excited and they're crying and they want to have a party. Like, I crave that. So there's so many different ways you can build your business, and if you know your personality, and use that, you can do well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I like, don't get me wrong, I love making people happy, and people who get to buy their first home and they feel like they were like, I think for people who, when they're going to buy their first home, like, what, you don't really remember your escrow at all, right? It just happens to you because you don't have a language to understand all of the definitions to, like, put together a narrative for what has just happened to me during this process. It's just people are just sending you things and you're signing, and that's it. And at the end, you get a house.
Yeah.
And so working with first-time home buyers, I really enjoy the process of making them feel like they are empowered, that this is something that you guys are doing, and it is something that's going to be beneficial for your family, and it is going to make you feel like we did something really hard and we got it done, and we feel confident in knowing that we knew exactly what we were doing as it was happening. It wasn't just like running over us and at the end you get a house.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
I love that too. That's awesome. So if you were going back to 2018 when you passed your test and you're just getting started, knowing what you know now, what would you tell Thomas back in 2018?
I think, well, one, it's going to work out. So you don't have to,
Yay!
you don't have to worry, so much about it not working out. One, it's going to work out. You're going to do fine. You're going to be successful at this. And I think on other than that, I mean, everything else you have to kind of learn along the way. Like I said before, I mean, don't stress about losing deals. It happens to everyone. It's not a big deal, and it happens for a reason. Another one, but again, this is just kind of common advice. If you have bad feelings about a client, like just not really working out, everything just continues. It doesn't, at least for me, it seems like it's almost like a ritual, or like a spell isn't the right word, but you are in a dance with this person, and if you stumble a few times, if there's some weird stumbling in the beginning, it really takes a long time before you can get back into rhythm, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it's better just to walk away or go another place. Another thing I think is that I think it's really easy to waste a lot of time is not the right word, but as a new agent, you just are you're trying to work because you don't actually have any work.
Yes.
Trying to work. And I think that can be good too, or bad. I don't know. I don't know. But I do remember that feeling. I just desperately wanted something to happen. So, and I think maybe that time could be spent doing something else. But I really don't know. When you're new, you just don't have anyone to call. You're gonna call your aunt or your cousin. I have a lot of family in town, so call them up and be like, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent now. Like, how are you doing?" I mean, I always had a tough time with that. Where I was like, the only reason I'm calling you is because I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's awkward, for sure.
Yeah.
So you have made a commitment to be a social media king, right? So you said you were going to post on TikTok every day for 60 days?
Yeah, until EXPCon.
Until EXPCon.
Yep.
In October.
Yep.
So that's impressive to me because agents all the time say, well, I want to do video, but they never start. They just keep saying, I want, but they never do. So what is your advice to those agents that really want to start doing video, but they just can't push play? What got you over that fear?
Well, I think one, I set aside, I created time. So I had time, unfortunately, late at night. So my kids go to bed at about 8:15, and then my wife goes to bed at around 9:30, 10. And so once she goes to bed, I go into my office and make videos. And so I dedicated 2 hours a night. So it was a sacrifice because that's the only time that I felt like I had. I had 2 hours in the evening where I can do work and I'm alone and I can do whatever I want to do. And so that would be one, is just like set aside the time and make sure it's a realistic time. Like the only other thing I could be doing at that time if I wasn't sleeping would be like sitting on my couch, drinking wine, looking at Twitter. And so it was
The
like,
drinking wine part, I'm in on that one.
so it was like there was nothing productive that was happening anyway. So I
Mhm.
took an unproductive time, made it productive, and so that was one. Two, I allowed myself the ability, or allowed myself the grace to say, this is not going to be perfect. I don't know what I'm doing. I am on an exploration adventure. So I tried to make things as nice as I could. So in the beginning, I just stopped. I wore the same shirt every single time. So I just had my shirt just sitting over there. And so I didn't have to worry about what I was wearing or try and get self-conscious about my outfit or anything like that. It was like, there's the shirt. When I'm ready to record the video, I put on the shirt. Now I got my shirt. I can go. I got, a little bit of kind of lighting things set up so that I did feel confident. Because that is one thing. It's like if you're trying to start something new, at least for me, I try to have as many little details as I can to give me a little bit more, as many details as I can looking nice, to give me a little bit more confidence to be able to do it. And so I think, and again, that could just be my personality, but I'm sure other people are like this, where it's like, it's such a way to have an excuse that, oh, well, this doesn't look good behind me, or, oh, I don't like what I'm wearing, or I don't like the way my face looks, or whatever, so I'm not going to do it. So solving those little issues was a big key to it as well. And then third was just really getting excited about the commitment. That it was, not only was I on an exploration and a journey, but I was just committing to myself that I was going to do this no matter what sort of results were gonna take place. That I just wanted to be short enough amount of time that if I didn't commit to this short amount of time, like I'm saying I'm going to post every day for a year, but it was 6 months. It was like, you can do this, and if you don't do this, then you just failed yourself, and for no reason at all. It was nothing that was stopping you from doing it. I had the time, I had the shirt, I had the space, I was ready to go. So so that would be those were probably the three things. I think the biggest one is just being realistic about how much time do you have and where can you set it aside, because you are learning how to do something. You can't just, it won't just automatically happen. You have to learn how to do it. So you need to have the headspace to learn how to do it.
I'm watching you on your TikToks because you're being honest, and I'm watching you grow in your content, and you're finding your talking points that match you. So the more you've been doing it, the more you've become you, and you feel more comfortable sharing that. And I think that's how you attract a huge audience. So,
oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I thought you knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's working. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm going to definitely continue watching.
Oh, good.
So,
TikTok is such a, TikTok is bizarre. I mean, one of the things that I think here's another piece of advice I think that I would give for people too, is don't look at TikTok if you're trying to produce stuff for TikTok. Or look at it very rarely and if you are looking at it, look at it for things you can steal or things that you like, or ask yourself, why do I like this person's content? Because I know I get extremely self-conscious whenever I start looking at TikTok too much, because I start analyzing it through what the audience is thinking of me.
Aww.
And that, I think, kind of it shuts me down.
Okay.
Where it's like, man, this thing is so silly and there's so much nonsense going on. What am I doing here? Like I'm just part of this noise that's just being loud. And so that's been something for me too, where it's like if I really lose a lot of motivation to do the videos when I'm looking at TikTok too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, maybe you're just maybe more positive than I am. I'm usually a pretty positive person, but I'll come across realtor TikToks that I'm like, really? Like, this is what you're putting out there? You're dumb. Next. So, yeah.
The realtor TikTok game is tough. I mean, it's really tough.
It is.
You have like, like the people who make the voiceover videos, and those are cute and fun, but they're not really like selling real estate. I guess it's just sort of showing that your personality, that you're like a fun person.
Yep.
And then you have, like I said before, you have the billboard where you're just like, hey, I'm a realtor, call me if you want to buy or sell a home. So you have billboard TikTok, and then the house tours TikTok, which can be cool, but I don't know if that is the venue for. I don't think people think that's interesting on TikTok.
I do not.
And I really think the thing for TikTok is you building some sort of suspense.
Ooh, yeah.
So you like come out with something, and then you have to like try and make people want to see what happens next. I think those are the most successful TikToks. Cooking actually is a really success. It seems like there's a lot of people who are very successful on TikTok with cooking videos, and I tend to watch the cooking videos if they're edited well.
Okay.
But
so
my
somehow you can combine the cooking.
I was thinking that, I don't know, because my format and what I wanted to do is I'm just one take. I talk for a minute to a minute and a half, and then I'm done.
Yep.
And in the beginning, it took me, the whole 2 hours to get out that one 90-second take.
Oh my God.
And now it's not that. So
done. Next. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like I do one to figure out what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I got an idea. I'll go, what am I actually trying to say? Take a few notes, go again, and then by the third or fourth time, I can get it all the way through the end.
Yep.
But with TikTok, just getting it posted really is the most important thing. And then, Gary Vee, he talks about the 3 elements of social media is speed, quantity, and then quality. And so speed meaning that you're just getting it done. Get it out there, get it done. Sorry, not quantity. Consistency. Consistency is never good. So be consistent. So I'm going to set the time I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep doing it. And then the third one is quality. But quality takes time because quality is your craft. So it takes time for the quality to really develop, as you were saying, to find out what actually is my niche, what actually am I trying to do here, what makes sense for me, what is something that I look forward to doing, and then how can I craft it in a way that's going to be enjoyable for other people to watch. And I think that the quality takes time. Speed and consistency, anybody can do, and you can get followers and you can get momentum with just speed and consistency. But the quality, that actually is you're actually becoming a videographer or whatever, you're actually honing the craft of making videos on TikTok that are enjoyable for people to watch. Yeah, and that takes time. And that's why I think those like mimicking realtor videos, and other people do them too, not just realtors, but it's a way to kind of steal, it's a way to make something that's entertaining for people. It's obviously entertaining, like people wouldn't do them. It's a way to make something that's entertaining that you just copy. You don't have to have a craft in doing those mimicry videos.
True.
And so that's a good technique for people to use if they like that. I don't know if it works so well with, I was gonna say I don't know if it works so well with men realtors, but there are dudes that do it too.
There are.
And they're successful and they have lots of followers.
I know. So the key is find out what you're good at and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
which is
What
weird.
do you do on your TikTok? Do you do the realtor videos?
I do tips. So
Tips.
I'll do a real estate agent tip and then a real estate tip.
Okay.
And it's 60 seconds and that's it. And sometimes I'll throw in some lifestyle things or something of my dog or a trip that I had, things like that. Or I'll do the voiceovers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's your and do you have a posting schedule?
I try to do every day. Just
Every day.
like it's at some point in the day, I go in the corner back there and do a video. Or if I have in the car, I'll try to do it in the car, just somewhere. But that's my goal every day, to do those two. It's a reel. I do it as a reel through Instagram and then get it to TikTok.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Nice.
So
yeah, that's cool. Well, I think so. There's a woman real estate agent. I don't know her name, but she has really big. I think it's red hair. Anyway,
I don't know who that is.
she is. Yeah, it's a good description, right? And she's got like if you Google top real estate people on TikTok, she comes up. And she is almost like turning herself into a not like a travel show, but like she's becoming like a TV show in 60 seconds. And I think that's sort of a course to go on, and something that I've thought about a lot, and I just haven't set aside the time to do it. I think would be helpful to people who are trying to generate content as a real estate agent, is to think about what would your TV show look like. So instead of trying to that would be it. So what does your TV show look like? And especially for like where I live, having a travel agent, almost like an Anthony Bourdain kind of style show. Or that, it's not a show, it's only 50 seconds, but that's the feeling that you're giving across to people.
I love it.
Agency show. And I think a lot of towns, and especially even if you were in a big city, or a big like suburban area, you could still niche down into like just your little local neighborhood and still find things that are interesting enough for people to create a show. Like 4 things to do in a weekend in wherever you live, or like let's go to the library or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that would be, again, something that people could do to kind of give you a little bit of a niche and focus you in, and so you don't feel like you're just kind of grasping at what can I do to entertain people. Yeah.
Well, Thomas, I'm loving all of this great information, and I think you and I are going to have to get together again and do another interview on
Absolutely.
how to grow your TikTok, how to grow your social media. So we're going to do that maybe at the end of the year, because then your channel really will have time.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. So
how many followers do you have on TikTok? I'm sorry.
Oh, not many.
Okay.
I'm sure I don't as many as you. Like,
well,
I think I'm in the 200s.
Okay. So my goal is to hit 1,000 by the end of September.
Oh.
And I think that, and so I started in the 1st of August. So that was 1,000 in 2 months. And I think that so for TikTok realtors, 1,200 is really like the end of the middle class, I feel like. So and once you get above, so that's why I think real estate, which we was talking about, I think real estate for TikTok has potential, because if you were up to 5,000 people on TikTok as a realtor, you would be in the top 90%, top 90%. Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
So that's what we have to get to. So what are you at?
So what's that?
What are you at?
I'm at 18 right now. and I'll get to 1,000. Yeah, I'll get to 1,000 by the end of September. And then my goal is, I think that I could be at 5,000 in 6 months from the time I get to 1,000.
Okay.
So
And
we'll see if
be.
that math works out right. But that is the goal. And so that's why I also think it's like, this is such a long game. It's such a slow build. I'm not gonna get any clients from this immediately, but eventually I think it can start opening opportunities and opening doors.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So, but it's a little bit, you're not focused on your cash flow when you are on TikTok as a real estate agent. You are focused on something else. You're growing a personal brand that is then going to pay you later. Yeah.
That's right. Dividends for the rest of your life.
So
that's what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So.
Oh, are you there? Are we done?
How things are going. But before that, we are going to meet in Las Vegas in October for EXPCon, and we are going to learn from the best of the best, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm so excited. We've never met in person, but hopefully we will get to.
Yes.
And so I will continue stalking you on TikTok and watching your videos, and I will do more likes, I promise.
Oh, well, thank you.
As you continue to grow, I'll be watching.
Well, I will do the same. Thank you so much, Rebecca, and thank you for this opportunity. It was really, really fun to get to meet you and to chat about this. And anytime, give me a call.
Okay, sounds good. Well, you take care, Thomas, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks, Rebecca.